So now we're essentially going to find the same triangle, the same setup with the foot on the hip, but we're starting in a situation where our foot is not on the hip. And so we need to create the reaction that allows our foot to get to the hip, and then we can shoot the triangle. So we'll see this method to break our opponent's balance from many situations where we have connection to their upper body. Okay? And that is, we're going to take a foot and we're going to pull on our opponent's head and shoulders, and we're going to push on their hips. Okay? In this situation, I'm pushing with that back leg, and I'm using my De La Riva hook to kind of help internally rotate my opponent's leg and help direct my opponent to help him so that this hand posts on the floor. And that's the reaction that we want. So there's two important things happen when I can create that unbalancing, that reaction from my opponent. So if I have a deep grip, right, it's going to be it's a bit easier to pull. If I have a shallow grip, I'm going to have to kind of rely a little bit more on that pulling action of my arm and my back, and less on just my weight shift. Okay, but I'm going to move my opponent, push, and as I come back, this foot is going to drop below his hip. I don't want to be too close to the knee or too much right on the hip. I'm going to push, knocking my opponent's leg back and giving him direction with this De La Riva hook. Okay. Now that gives me space to go from De La Riva hook to foot on the hip. So we just put our heel right into our opponent's hip, and his hand on the floor means he's not monitoring our leg, and we can chamber this knee through. Now once again, a big pull. I'm pulling his armpit to my hip and his hip to meet my armpit. We're locking this into position, and now we're going to start to break our opponent down and look to finish the triangle. Okay, so one more time. Okay. Again, we'll see this action to defend our guard, okay, so that we just take away our opponent's initiative or their timing and their guard pass when they start to get ahead of us. We use this to advance to leg entanglements with different grips, to get to our single leg X, to get to X guard, etc. And we use this here to get from our foot being in a De La Riva hook position to create the space to get our foot here on our opponent's hip. And it brings our opponent's hand to the mat, very importantly. Anytime your opponent's hands are on the mat, there's weight in the hands, they can't be using their hands to either attack or defend. Their arms are busy supporting their weight. So when I'm here, I'm looking for the opportunity. I often do the opposite action first to kind of help build some momentum, in that I'll push my opponent in this direction, and as I come back, I'm going to drop foot to the hip and take the shot for the triangle. And then we work to finish.